Hi, I'm Dara, and I'm going to show you my prototype for UI/UX Advanced for the Wellness Guardian app. Here is what it looks like on the homepage. You open it and you get a few things. You have your streak, you have a little motivational letter at the top, text at the top, profile, and then here is where the more interactive stuff comes in. You have a morning quiz, which is basically a way to input the different things that you track, but through a quiz, so not manually, but it asks you for them, so it's easier for some people to do. And one of the main functions of the app, which is the switch, from which you switch from the mind to the body section of the app, because I've put them as two separate sections so you can track different things. Starting off here, if we start the morning quiz, it's going to ask you basically to input, for example, your feelings first. Here you can drag along the stars so you can input them. I haven't been able to prototype it this way, so it's just kind of, clickable now, but you'll be able to drag it along. And then it will give you feedback at the top. And you'll fill it all out like so, for example. And then it would give you this graph, which is basically, you can see how your moods are doing. Next one is your energy levels, and you would be able to drag this along like a kind of like a timer type of thing, and you would input, for example, when you went to bed and when you woke up, and it will tell you how many hours you slept. And here you can tell what's your energy level right now, and let's say like that. And here's the next one, which we're in the body section now, and you can input what you've had to eat so far, and here would have like a database you can look up, and then you can also choose if it's from everything or just your stuff that you've input, and you can add it. And then you ideally have it drop from the search bar down here as an animation, and it would fill up kind of like this. And here's the last one, which is how much water you've drank, which is pretty basic, and I would change it if I had the time to iterate it more. After the feedback session, I could make it a bit better because some people don't really measure their water in cups but milliliters, so I would have a different kind of UI for that. But yeah, that was kind of the quiz, and then it all gets recorded in the calendar, and it says at the bottom that you can track your info. And then moving on to the next page, the calendar. Here you have, again, two types of modes, depending on, for example, if one of the days you did very good for your body or vice versa, it would showcase different colors for the days. And then you can drag this menu down here up, and you can see kind of your metrics for the day. You would ideally be able to get a more detailed view, but that's just kind of the layout for now. And here it is again with the different types of metrics for the body. Moving on to the next page, which is the activity page. Here you'll be able to see activities that you can do, and then at the bottom the community ones are, for example, stuff that your friends are doing, so you can do those. And then let's click on one for a little detailed view. You get a little menu with much of different exercises you can do with different kind of metrics you would have at the bottom. For example, the time limit, the level that you're doing it at, and how many calories it's going to burn for you. And a little more detailed, we can go in here, and it's showcasing even more information. For example, what muscles are engaged, the equipment you're using, and a bit more about the exercises. So the last page is the communications page, which is where I did my A/B. This is the A version, and this is the B version. This one is a bit more like the other types of chats that you have, chats, groups, and communities. And the communities are more like, for example, like here, little feeds with posts about different communities. And here's the same thing, but it's a bit of a different layout, which is supposed to be a little bit less like the groups in the chats. So I had those two versions. That was it for my app. Thank you for your attention, and hopefully I hear back from you soon.